Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast Music and Musicians, brought to you by Inspired Music Center. Inspired Music Center is a creative and technology-driven music, media and live streaming partner for churches, schools and musicians. Today we are going to discuss on the role of music in the growth of the church. Music plays a critical role and it really attracts the congregants and even new members to our churches. So if you are a church leader, a choir member, a musician, a pastor, this podcast is for you. I am your host, Peter Keraro. So, why does music matter in the church? Music really plays a critical role in the church worship and all the activities of our churches. First, once you get into a church, the first thing that you'll hear is music. This music is sung and produced by musicians who have been preparing the whole week from Monday to Saturday. They were preparing for the service. So the first thing that you get into a church you will hear is good instruments, good voices singing. So music welcomes you to the church. It prepares your soul for worship and prayer. Once you sit and listen to the music being sung before the service starts, you will notice that it carries special message. So this message is to prepare you for prayer and to bring you to the mood. So it connects you to your creator. Music also creates the serene moment or the mood for spiritual connection. If you are not, or if you are sad, music can really bring you to the mood of prayer. If you are happy, overexcited, music will always bring you to that mood of worship and prayer. So music also brings a certain impression to the congregant. If you get into a new church and listen to how they are singing, it will just give you an impression of what to expect in the service, how the service will be. If the service will be good, dull, happy, so it already brings you to the mood and gives you an impression as a congregant of what to expect. I really believe that musicians play a critical role. Musicians will either take people to heaven or to hell, depending on how we treat our music. So if you sing very well, you will help so many people to pray. If the singing is poor, you can be sure even everything could be transferred to even the pastor, the people serving in the service. So it is very important that we make sure music in our service is good from the start, even as they are preparing, as the choir members and the praise and worship team are preparing, the music should be good. We should also remember that, as my teacher Mr. Ruto says, music helps us cure the spreading disease of sin. So as we are singing to God, let's remember that we are also doctors. We are also treating people from the spreading disease of sin. So what do you think of music? What comes to your mind immediately you get to the church? I'll really be interested to get some of your comments in the comment section. So, what are some of the mistakes that are commonly made by our choirs and our churches or the music ministers? We really have challenges in our churches. The first challenge is on the instrumentalist. They could be poorly prepared, like they have not practiced. So sometimes you get into a church, you listen to the music, the instrumentalist is in a totally different key, and the choir is in a different key. So there's no blend, it becomes noise, and that already is a distraction to the congregants. It makes them feel like they're not in the right mood for worship. The other mistake is under training for the choir members and even for the praise and worship team or the solo singers. So sometimes they don't know the lyrics to the music, or they even don't understand that they don't know the music itself. In some churches where music should, the choir should help the Christians or lead the Christians in worship, you find that probably the choir sings new songs. All the songs sung are new, so the congregation cannot join in the singing. For example, if it's a hymn, it is a totally new hymn which the church members have never heard of. It has not been introduced. So singing along becomes a challenge. The other mistake that we make, for those who sing using microphones as they lead, is the poor use of microphone, or even ignoring sound and technology. We don't give it the relevance that it needs. We don't give it the time, and we don't work on our sound in the churches as much as we should do, so that as the choirs sing, as the singers present their music, there is clarity. Let's say the speakers are poorly done, the person at the sound is not taking their work well. So that is another challenge that really affects the music in our churches. Another challenge is during our rehearsals or even during worship, we don't record whatever we've been doing, so that after we can review and listen to what we've been doing. I will really encourage us to try and record our rehearsals, so that after rehearsal you go and listen to what you've been doing, so that you know, are you on the right track, or you are making the same mistakes over and over. Another challenge is the musicians don't get the support they need, maybe from the church members, the church leadership. So sometimes we find that musicians really spend a lot of their resources in preparation for the service, and that could be straining because they still participate in other activities of the church. Sometimes you find that they don't have proper infrastructure, like the instruments required for the training. So they don't have proper instruments. They lack professional trainers. So when they come for practice, they just come, sing. There's no warm-up. They just sing whatever they think of and leave. Sometimes they don't prepare in line with what will be the teachings of the coming Sunday. So this makes whatever the music is preaching and whatever the preacher comes to preach totally different. It brings in new ideas that probably would be better if they were well organized and merged together to give a common message for the Sunday service. So, what steps can we take to correct some of these mistakes? I will outline a few. Then we can also share in the comment section, what do you think we can do to correct the mistakes that we make? So the first thing that I would really suggest is that we should have basic music training for musicians. And I would really suggest that this training starts from the young children, from a young age. Young children should be trained on music skills, probably how to play the instruments, how to sing and to be part of the choir and worship team. So these are some of the things that we can do. We can have trainers who are at least trained in music. We can also bridge the gap between the choir and the congregants, so that whatever the choir sings, the congregants can as well join and sing along. That makes the singing experience very beautiful. Another thing that we need to work on is regular rehearsals. Let's have choir practice days. We can be meeting on Tuesdays and Saturday probably to prepare. Let's have proper rehearsal days which are well structured, and we know that if we come at 2 p.m. we shall be having our rehearsal. On these rehearsal days, let's also keep time. Don't let it be that someone comes for practice at 2 p.m. then the other member will come at 2:30, the other member will come at 4. So there's no time that we will ever meet together for a proper rehearsal. Let us also work on our equipment, the sound equipment. You should have maybe proper mic training. Let the singers know how to use the microphone. Let us test the sound before the service starts, so that we are sure that our sound system is okay and there'll be no distraction in the midst of our performance. Let us make good use of technology, because as we know, technology is always growing. It is always moving to the next and bigger heights. So if you don't make proper use of technology, I'm very sure you'll be left behind, and that will not be good. You'll find that is where you find some congregants are leaving, they're going to the neighboring church, because they are making proper use of technology. Probably they are recording their services and watching what they did and always trying to improve on whatever they did the previous Sunday or the previous service. So it is very important that we make good use of technology, and we also review our performances, be it a festival, be it the Sunday service or Saturday service, depending on when you go to church. It is important that you have records and review even the rehearsal sessions. Practice with the instrumentalist. That is another key point. As I said earlier, sometimes you'll find the instrumentalist in a different key, the singers in a different key. So make sure you practice with the instrumentalist during the rehearsal days, so that they know which is the favorable key for your choir, and the choir also gets to know how the instrumentalist will play. This will greatly help us improve our singing in the church. So, beyond the good preparation and the good use of music is also another important tool in the outreach ministry. It can really help our churches grow in terms of worship, as I said earlier, and even in terms of the number of congregants. So music reaches to people beyond even the church walls. Once people get to know that there is good music in your church, they will always be looking forward to the next service. This makes our mission successful, because someone can just join church because of the good music. It just comes there, listen to the music, and they feel good. So you are already preaching to the soul of this person. That is why it is very important that we make sure our music is good. Another thing is that if we can live stream and share our music online, we will really be selling our service. Like, people will know what we do. So currently we should make very good use of technology to share the kind of music that we do. Have small recordings of your singing and share online on WhatsApp, on Facebook, or whatever platform you can share. So choir recordings will always act as an evangelism tool, because most of our church choirs sing what is in the scripture, and this is a tool beyond the preaching that the minister of the day had prepared. So that is why I also encourage that the choir should sing songs that are in line with the day's preaching. So they should make sure that they work closely with the minister of the day. So at Inspired Music Center, we can help you work on all of this. Just feel free to contact us to offer our service at your church, be it the training, the rehearsal, the recording, so that we can also help you minister to people. So some of us could be asking, does quality really matter, or it is the spirit? So my answer would be that okay, the spirit matters, but what does quality do to the spirit of the person singing? Quality will always complement that spirit. So in terms of getting to the audience and to the congregants and preaching to them, if you have good quality, you will really have enhanced the kind of message that your congregants will get. So God also wants good singing. We know that when we get to heaven, it will only be music. We will definitely not be singing poorly. We know the story of Lucifer. She had, I don't know if Lucifer is a she. So Lucifer had close to 7 voices. 7 voices. He was the best singer, but because of pride, he did not, he was sent away from heaven. So that already tells us that in heaven there is very good singing. So if we can have good singing here on earth, even in heaven, the singing will definitely be good. So excellence also builds credibility. If we have good singing, people will be confident to join our choirs. The congregants will be looking forward to joining in the singing, and the worship will definitely be on another level. We'll have very good singing in our churches. So I really emphasize that it is important for us to encourage good singing in our churches. So I won't go beyond that. I really appreciate you for your viewing. Kindly help me by sharing this content to other people so that they can learn how to improve singing in the churches. They can learn the mistakes that they make and improve. Remember also to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. See you next time.